What's up, everybody? Mocha here, coming to you from Leesburg, Virginia. Welcome to More Space Real Estate. Your first time, welcome. So glad to have you. You've been here before. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna get right into it. Remind you, if you want your friend, hit me up down below. It comes straight to my cell phone, whether it's a call, a text, an email. Hit me up on Messenger. Find me on LinkedIn and let's connect. If you are looking for any information, how you want to get to Leesburg, Virginia, Northern Virginia, Loudoun County, whatever, I got you if this is what you want to know about. So today we're going to be talking about the big news that came out from the Fed last week. Talk about the 20% down payment myth and when it's true and when it's not true. So today we're talking about the big news that came out last week from the Fed. In 2022, the federal government will be backing mortgages up to $970,800. So the most common loan type is a conventional loan. Most people that buy homes typically will use a conventional loan to finance their purchase. Now, a conventional loan is backed by Fannie and Freddie Mac. So the increase in the loan limit is based upon the house price index. And it's different based on different markets. Now, I did mention that big number, that $900,000 number in the beginning, but for the most markets in the US, that number is actually gonna be closer to $650,000. But because the loan limits are determined by housing prices, but in pricier markets, this number is relative to what the house prices are in that market. So for us here in Northern Virginia, in the DMV area, that limit is $970,800 because the market is that much more intense compared to the rest of the US. So what that means is that up to $970,800, you can take out a conventional loan with as little as 5%, obviously barring that your assets and income qualify. But the whole gist of this is to find a way. The US loves home ownership. And what they're trying to do is figure out that with the home prices increasing, how to keep the most amount of buyers within the pool where they can afford a home using a conventional loan or just using loans that are backed by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Because these are loans where you can tap into these, incredible interest rates, different packages for financing along with the loan. You've got grants and credits and so on and so forth. So the more amount of people that can come into this pool, the better chances that more people can get into home ownership. So in a place like Northern Virginia, you can take out a loan up to $970,800 and put as little as 5% down as a conventional loan. Now, this doesn't mean that everybody can do it. In real estate, even if you've bought a home or you know somebody who's bought a home, even with interest rates the way they were, some people had a lower interest rate, some people had a higher interest rate. So to say that you can put 5% down doesn't mean everybody can do it. But if you could put 5% down on a $900,000 home, you have the opportunity to diversify your funds, diversify the reserves that you have, and allow yourself to be leveraged on your home purchase and use your money somewhere else. This, I think, is a really helpful corrective to the myth. Well, let's call it the misunderstanding that you have to put 20% down on a home purchase. Especially as the prices go up, there's perhaps a misconception or misunderstanding that the higher the price point, the higher the down payment needs to be. And this isn't the case, because here's the reason why. Whether you put 5% or 20%, you still own the home. Now you'll have your PMI and different things, but if it's about owning the home, you can put, whether you put 5 or 20%, you still own the home. Now you can have 20% of the sales price, but if you're putting 5% down on the property, it gives you 15% where you can diversify and allocate to other investments. So easy math, $1 million, you wanna buy a home for $1 million, 20% down is $200,000. You can put $200,000 all into that one property, or 5%, you can put $50,000 in the property and then still have $150,000 left where you can diversify to whether it's stocks, bonds. So it's okay to have 20% of whatever your target price range is, but you don't have to use it all. And in this market, what a lot of people have done is they have put smaller down payments and used the additional funds for different things like an appraisal. With sales prices so much higher than the list price, there's a potential that an appraisal will come in low. And so some buyers have been using those reserves to mitigate an event where the appraisal comes in low. So you can have the 20%, but you don't have to use it all in the same place. And the cool thing is that if the home does appraise, then you've got those additional funds that you could then, whether it's during the loan application process or even after you've purchased the house, there are no prepayment penalties for conventional loans or for government-backed loans. So you can just tack on that extra payment, whether it's one big payment after you close, but you would have those funds available if the home does in fact appraise. But these are just some examples and ways that you can move the money around in different ways where it's not stuck to just one specific purpose, but you can use it in creative ways. So you don't have to put 20% down right there and then. You can put it down over a period of time. The faster you get through 20%, the faster you get rid of your PMI. Or if you use that money other ways to invest in other properties or to get into stocks or Bitcoin, whatever you do, you can still use the returns from those investments to make up for, let's say the cost of PMI, or if that's something that you really are concerned about. So that's one way that you would consider not using 20%, not putting 20% down on a loan. Now, there are cases where you can put 20% down. One of the reasons to put 20% down is that you get the most favorable interest rates on your loan. Lenders love big down payments. Reason is because the more of the property that you own and are invested in, the less liable the bank is. The less money the bank has to give you, the better off they are. And in fact, the better off you are too. Putting 20% down puts you in a very competitive interest rate bracket. In fact, it puts you down at the lowest possible interest rates that you can get at the time. Another situation that you would want to possibly put 20% down is if you're moving from a high cost of living area to a low cost of living area. So let's say the home that you want to buy, a 5-bedroom, 5-bed, 4-bath is $1 million where you live now, and you're moving to a place where that kind of a home is in the $500,000 or $600,000 range. It's possible. It's in the $500,000 or $600,000 range. See, 20% for $500,000 or $600,000 and 20% for $1 million are significantly different. But if you're prepared and you've got the reserves for $1 million, if you come down to the $500,000 or $600,000 or $700,000 range, so simple math, 20% in a low cost of living area is less than 20% in a high cost of living area. So in this sense, you would put 20% down, but you wouldn't be expending all your reserves on one investment, and you can still diversify with the additional funds that are left. Another scenario would be if it's not your money, right? Like a lot of folks have been very fortunate where their parents, grandparents have left either trust funds or open mutual funds accounts for them with significant amounts of money that previous generations have gifted to them, so that for the event of a major purchase like a house, in that event, you can use that money because that's what it's designated for. So in this sense, barring the gifted investments, if you're looking at just what you have and what you're responsible for, if you put 20% down, if this takes care of 20%, then you're essentially at net zero and you haven't really lost or given up anything in the 20%, and you can still keep focused on building your own portfolio. Oh, and another scenario where you could put 20% down is if you're doing long distance real estate investing in significantly lower housing markets. So there are times in which putting 20% down makes sense, and there are times where putting 20% down does not make sense. And it's up to you to look at your finances, to look at your investment strategy, and not just right now, but long term. Are you more risk averse or are you more conservative? What is your risk tolerance when it comes to your investments? And then determine whether you want to put 20% down. And just know that if you're here in the Northern Virginia, DC market, in 2022, you can take up to a $970,000 loan, a conventional loan, without having to go transition to a jumbo loan. So even though interest rates are climbing a little bit, this is another advantage to buying a home now, because you can actually have a government-backed loan at up to almost $1 million, which gives you a really good position to be in real estate, whether it's now and even moving into the future. So get your free home buyer kit in the description before you go. It's got a whole bunch of tools and resources for thinking about planning how to finance and even find a home if you're looking to buy a home now or at some point in the future. Reach out to me if you got any questions. I got your back. Check out some of these neighborhood tours about some of the places in Leesburg and around Leesburg. And from me to you, it's always fun. Until next time, y'all take care.